Hello, folks, and welcome to the SO Hacker Log. I am your script kiddie in security land, and this is my network that is being monitored by Security Onion. If you want to learn how to monitor a small network at home using Security Onion, then see the link down in the description. In this episode, we are going to install a couple of virtual hosts onto a couple of virtual machines so that we can monitor pen testing through this network using Security Onion. So let's go ahead and get started. Once again, we are looking at hosts that are connected to my test network. And over in the lower right-hand corner here, we have a macOS host. And over in the left-hand corner here, we have an Ubuntu host. And in the background here, we have a Windows host that is logged into the Security Onion console. I'm going to start with the macOS. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is open up a web browser. And in the web browser's search field here, I am going to type in VirtualBox. And I am going to do a web search for that. Right at the top of the list here, we have Oracle VirtualBox. So I am going to go ahead and select that link. After that page loads, I am going to select Downloads here up at the top of the page. And then after that, I am going to go down and select macOS Apple Silicon here because I am running an M1 chip in this example. Once that downloads, I am going to open the Downloads folder. And I am going to double click on this disk image. That mounts the disk to the desktop, and as you can see, we have some instructions here. So I am going to double click here on the package, like it says, which will start the installation process. I am going to follow the instructions here on the installation process. Then once that is done, I am going to go ahead and open up the applications folder here. As you can see, VirtualBox is now here, so I am just going to double click on that to start up VirtualBox. Okay, so now we have VirtualBox running on this Mac, and that is actually all that we are doing with this Mac in this episode. We are now going to go over to the Ubuntu host, and I am going to install VirtualBox there as well. And the reason that I am installing virtualization software on two different hosts that are connected to this network is because I want to make sure that the pen testing traffic actually traverses the network. And there's a pretty good chance that you could just do this on one physical host with a single virtualization environment with two virtual machines running that both were being served IP addresses by the router of this network. And Security Onion would still be able to see the traffic. But I just want to make absolute sure that the traffic traverses the network here. And some of you will certainly notice that the date up here isn't the same as it is on the other hosts, and that is because when I was making the recording while I was doing all of these things at the same time on these hosts, the recording for this one turned out to be unusable for some reason. So here on the Ubuntu host, I am just going to open up a web browser here. And I am going to navigate to the VirtualBox webpage, just like I did moments ago with the Mac. Here I am going to select the link for Ubuntu 24.04 because that is the version of Ubuntu that I am running here. Once that download is complete, I am going to right-click on the downloads here, and I am going to select Show in Folder. As you can see, that opens up the download folder here, and you can see that we have our VirtualBox Debian package here. So now we need to install this package. So now I am going to right-click in this window, and I am going to select Open in Terminal. And that will open a terminal emulator here from the downloads directory. Now at the prompt, I am going to type in the command sudo dpkg-i and then the name of the package that I want to install. And what I did here when I got to the package name was I just typed in the V and I hit tab, and Linux finished the name for me. And for anybody who doesn't know this already, if Linux can deduce what the rest of a command is based on what you've written already, when you hit tab, it will actually just enter the rest of the command for you. In this case, there is only one file in the downloads directory that starts with a V, so when I hit tab, Linux saw that and just entered the rest of the file name for me. And when I hit enter, it will prompt me for the sudo user password here. Once I type that in and hit enter, this package will take a few minutes installing. Once we are given the prompt here again, that package has finished installing and VirtualBox is now installed in Ubuntu here. Now if I go up to the upper left-hand corner of the screen here and click on this little white line right here, then I am given a search field here. And if I start typing in VirtualBox here, I basically get to VI and there is VirtualBox right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that and start up VirtualBox. As you can see, that starts up VirtualBox, and that is good because that means everything is operating the way that it should. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to actually download a virtual machine of Kali Linux. And Kali Linux, for anyone who doesn't know, is a Linux distribution that is optimized for hacking. And in future episodes, I am going to be using Kali Linux running as a virtual machine here on this Ubuntu host to hack against vulnerable virtual machines that are running on the macOS host. And there is no particular reason for me wanting it this exact way, except that I want the virtual machine that I am hacking from and the virtual machine that I am hacking against to be on separate hosts that are on this network. And again, that is just to ensure that the traffic actually traverses the network so that it can be recorded and analyzed by Security Onion. Okay, now I am just going to close a bunch of these windows just to clean things up here a little bit. And in the search engine, I am going to type in Kali Linux and do a web search for that. Kali.org is what we are looking for here, so we will go ahead and select that link. From there, I am going to click the downloads button, and then we are given several options here. So I am going to select virtual machines here because that is what we're after. And as you can see, VirtualBox is one of the machine types that is at the top of the list. Once I click on that, it starts downloading, and as you can see, it is a pretty large file, so it is going to take a while to download, and I am just going to skip to when it is done. Once that file has finished downloading, I am going to right-click on it here in the downloads list, and I am going to open the downloads folder again. As you can see, I have a new compressed file here, so I am going to right-click on it and extract it. Once again, this extraction actually takes quite a while, so I am just going to skip ahead to when it's done. Now we have a new directory here, so I am going to double-click on it and open it. And from there, I can just double-click on this Kali VBox, and it should open for me in VirtualBox. And there it is. So we are actually ready to do some hacking now with this system. I'm going to just look at Security Onion here just for a moment. And as you can see, Security Onion did not generate any alerts while I was doing any of this. Soon we will do some actual hacking, but that is it for now.